Morning viewers, this is Kasturi Day. Today I will discuss the ICC questions, ICC specimen questions of the chapter Pollination and Fertilization of class 9. Okay, so I'll start with this discussion. So before that, I will request you to please to subscribe my channel if you have not done yet, and please ring the notification bell because that will notify you as soon as a new video is uploaded. And if you are liking the videos, press the like button, share with your friends so that they can also be benefited from this video. And also do meditate before you start your day. Okay. So for meditation, let us concentrate on a point of light for just 1 minute of meditation, and then we'll start with the discussion. So for that, first concentrate on a point of light. Okay. Think that light is falling on you and you are feeling energetic. The whole body of yours is lighting up, feeling energetic, feeling happy, feeling interest, and getting interest in what you're going to go through. Feeling that your future is secure, you're feeling happy, enjoying it. Today you're becoming successful. So, thank God for giving you such energy, for everything that is given. So let's thank Him. So thank you for joining. Let's start with the discussion. So first question today is in balanced area pollination. In balanced area, pollination takes place by the agency of water, wind, bird, and insect. Balanced area is an aquatic plant. Okay. So this pollination takes place by the agent water. Okay, as it is an aquatic plant, so water pollination is done here. Next question, study the diagram given below and answer the following questions. First, you need to identify the above structure, mention its location in the flower. Second, it's the labeling the number part 1 and 2, and explain the term double fertilization, and then what is the fate of the calyx and corolla after fertilization, and you need to draw a diagram of the pollen grain. So first, we uh, need to identify the above structure. The structure is of an ovule. Okay, the structure is of an ovule, and it is located in the ovary of the androecium. Sorry, of the gynoecium. Okay, in the ovary of the gynoecium, that is, gynoecium consists of stigma, style, and ovary. So inside the ovary comes the ovule, okay, and this ovule, the parts which are given is of the ovule. Now label the number of parts 1 and 2. First one is the I told you it's an embryo sac which is found in the ovule of the flower. Antipodal cells. First, second is polar nuclei. Okay. Now, what do you mean by double fertilization? Double fertilization is a process in which the characteristics of the plant in which one sperm cell of a pollen grain fertilizes an egg cell while a second fuses with the two polar nuclei to produce a triploid body giving rise to an endosperm. So what is double fertilization? It's a process where two fertilization takes place simultaneously. One where one sperm cell, two germ nuclei are there, male nuclei are there. First one fertilizes the egg cell, okay, while the second sperm cell or the second nuclei, male nuclei, combines with the two polar nuclei forming a triple fusion and forms the endosperm. Okay. Now the fate of the calyx and corolla. Calyx and corolla, they're the flower parts which after fertilization they will fall off. Their main function is to protect the flower. So after fertilization, what happens? These calyx and corolla, they will fall off, wither and fall off as the reproductive functions are over. The protective functions, not reproductive, their function is protection. So protective functions are over now. And so they will fall off. Sometimes calyx remains attached to them, but actually their function is not there. And the picture of the pollen grain that will have a so it will be like this round sugar type, okay, and then there will be some covering over there. This will be the exine. There will be some gaps there, okay, like this will be there. It will be like this. Okay, and the inside will be this will be the intine, and this will be the exine. Outside covering will be the exine, inside covering will be the intine, and the inside there will be the germ nuclei and the tubular cell. Okay, two cells will be there. One is tube nucleus, tubular cell or tube nucleus, and the another one is germ cell, germ nucleus. That will, the germ nuclei will divide into two male nuclei, whereas this one, the matured, the tube cell will form the pollen tube, which will form inside the style. So the picture will be like this, okay? Next, we move on to the question. Elipophily is found in which flower? Is found in Rafflesia, the biggest flower you can say, is found in the Rafflesia flower. What do you mean by hydrophilous flowers? Give a few characteristics of these flowers with an example. So, hydrophilous flowers are those which are pollinated by water. Okay? And their hydro means water. So, hydrophilous means pollinating agent here is water. Now, the characteristics, some of the characteristics are there. They produce a large number of pollen grains as most of them get lost by the flow of water. Due to the flow of water, lots of pollen grains are destroyed, are lost. So, large number of pollens are produced, are required to be produced. Then the stigmas are large and feathery so that they can catch the pollens very easily. In some plants, the pollen grains have a specific gravity which is almost equal to that of the water, so they can remain floating just below the surface of the water. Here generally the flowers are unisexual. Male flowers are there and female flowers are there. The male flowers after maturation they get detached from the plant and float above the water surface. Male flowers they float above the water surface. They get detached from the plant. And the stalks of the pollinated flowers are usually they are very long to project their stigmas above the water surface. So the male flowers, they They float above the surface of the water. Pollen grains, they have the specific gravity which is almost equal to that of the water, so they remain floating just below the surface of the water. The stalks of the pollen grain, sorry, these flowers, they are very long, so that the stigmas they come out above the surface of the water. Here, no animal transporters are required for the pollination. Okay, the flowers, they need not to be attractive or colorful because there's no, uh, uh, I mean, no animal agents are required for pollination, so they need not to be uh, attractive or colorful. Generally, they are white in color. Okay. Next is uh, give the biological terms of the following. First is the opening through which the pollen tube enters the embryo sac for fertilization, that is known as micropyle. Okay? The condition in which the anther and the stigma occupy different heights. Anther, either it's low, stigma is above, or anther above, stigma low, like that, then that is known as heterobinding. That is known as, sorry, heterostyle, not binding, style. Then give some advantages and disadvantages of cross pollination. First, we come to the advantage of the cross pollination. See, by cross pollination, quality seeds are produced because what happens? There is uh, confusion of two varieties of plants. So, therefore, quality seeds are produced. Two different genetic characters are fused here. That's why quality seeds are produced. The plant species show a high rate of vigor. The offsprings are healthier. The seeds produced are abundant and viable. The seeds are produced in abundant quantity and they are viable. All unisexual plants, they can only reproduce by this pollination. So this is a very important process for the unisexual plants. Then spring plants show better immunity against diseases. Then pollination introduces gene variety to the species, as this pollination happens between two different varieties of the same species or between two different species. That's why their genetic variations are there. In cross pollination, they improves fertility resistance also. Fertility resistance also increases. Next, the disadvantages of cross pollination: excessive wastage in pollen grains are there. Okay? There's a high loss of pollen grains that needs to be produced in large quantities to ensure fertilization. With genetic recombination, good characteristics of the species will get lost because some good characters which may be subsided by the uh, bad characters or the bad characters which are unwanted characteristics of them. If they are more dominant characters, then these good characters can be lost with the genetic recombination. Then the pollination is not always certain, as some pollinating agent is always needed, which may or may not be available at the proper time. The process is uneconomical for the plant, as the flowers has to be large, colored, scented. More nectar has to be produced to attract the pollinating agents. So much of the energy is lost in making the flowers showy, okay, than to produce the pollen grains. Even the pollen grains has to be in large quantities. Then we come to the figure. Okay. So study the figure below and answer the following questions. So this is the figure. And which major organ of the flower does figure A represent? What is the collective term of the organ? Label the parts indicated with the figure. Are the contents inside part 4 male or female? How does this content come out? There is a flower where we use the terms like standard, wings, key, the flower. What part of the flower do the names given in question? And above question 4, above, refer to. Then write the advantages of the in the flower to the plant concerned: long and feathery stigma, bright colored petals, smooth and long petal pollen, fragrant nectar, and sticky pollen grains and stigma. So first case, first the figure represents the stamens. Collectively, stamens are called ambrosia. Okay. So first part that is given as first is the filament, then is the anther. Okay. This okay. First is filament, then is anther, third is the pollen sac, and fourth is the pollen. Content are the male gametes, and contents are the male gametes, the pollen grains, they are the male gametes they contain, and they come out by wind or insect. So this is the male part, and they come out by any wind or insects or any animals that they come out. The sweet pea is the flower which has these parts, that is standard, wings, peel, petals, etc. Now, they refer to the petals. At the top is the banner or the standard. It develops outside of the other before the flower has opened. Okay, at the top is the banner or the standard. Top is the standard. Uh, the two lateral petals are the wings, and lower petals, these are the key petals. That encloses the stamen and the pistil. Now, second part, B part, what are the advantages of this? It is long and feathery stigma. What is the advantage of this? In wind pollination, this long and feathery stigma helps in trapping the pollen grains. Okay. Then brightly colored petals, they help in attracting the insects for cross pollination. Smooth and light pollen, they help. They help. That is light pollen, smooth and light. They help the wind to carry the pollen grains for cross-pollination, facilitating cross-pollination. Fragment nectar, that helps in uh, attracting the insects for pollination. Then sticky pollen grains and stigma. Sticky pollen grains help to get stuck to the body of the insects and very easily, and help in the transport to another flower. Easy transport to another flower. Whereas the sticky stigma, that helps in easy attachment of the pollen grains to the stigma. Receiving the pollen grains to the stigma. Then we come to the name the following: a wind pollinated flower. A wind pollinated flower, same means. Then the condition in which a flower never opens, that is clistogamy. It does not open. The self-pollination is only occurs there. Then is the ripened ovule, the seed, and the flower which contains both the male and the female part, that is bisexual flower. Then in dash pollination, stamens and stigma mature at the same time. That is self-pollination. Then in dash, persistent calyx is present, that is Solanaceae. The inner wall of the pollen grain is known as intine. The pollen tube enters the ovule through the micropyle. Light pollen is present in wind pollinated flowers. Then in dash pollination, variations are produced, cross pollination. Dash is the protective covering of the ovule in teguments, and the protective covering of. Then we come to the scientific terms. Pollination by birds, it is known as ornithophilia. Then the pollination between the plants of the same species, that's cross-pollination. Then fusion of the male gamete and two polar nuclei, that's triple fusion. Then male and the female flowers borne on separate plants, dioecious plants. Arrangement of the flowers on a twig, that's inflorescence. Then pollination by wind is anemophily. The maturing of stigma earlier than the anthers, that is protogyne. Gynoecium maturing first, that is gynoecium, that is gyne, okay? And proto means earlier. So earlier maturing of the gynoecium, that is protogyne. Clear? Then a flower which contains one pistil. Flower which contains one pistil, that is apocarpus. Then we come to some differences, that is self and cross pollination, pollination and fertilization, insect pollination and water pollination. There is self pollination and cross pollination. Now, self pollination is a process where the pollen grains from the anther is transferred to the tristigma of the same flower or of the flower of another flower of the same plant. That is self pollination. Whereas in cross pollination, pollen grains are transferred from from the anther to the of a flower to the stigma of the same flower. I mean, of another flower of the same species. Okay? Then self-pollination occurs in genetically same plants, and cross-pollination occurs in the genetically different plants of the same species. With self-pollination, no external pollinating agents are required, whereas cross-pollination always depends on some external agent. It may be biotic or abiotic. Okay? Then example of self-pollination are orchids, cross-pollination papaya. Yes, self-pollination, you can add some more also. That is, no, the flowers may not be showy or attractive, but in cross-pollination they have to be showy. Some adaptations are required for cross-pollinations, and so they have to be attractive for the attracting the animals, rather insects or birds. Okay, and if they are water pollinated, then they have to be the stigma has to be some. There should be some adaptations, or the and for the pollen grains have to be some, there should be has to be some adapted condition. Here the pollen grains in self-pollination, pollen grains may be produced in limited quantity, but in cross-pollination large quantity of pollen grains has to be produced. So these are some of the more differences you can add in it. You can find it in my this one videos also. In the text videos you can find the other pollination, self and cross pollination differences. More points are there. Now we come to the pollination and fertilization difference. So pollination is an external process, whereas fertilization can be internal or external. Okay? Pollination takes place before fertilization. Fertilization takes place after pollination. Pollination occurs from anthers of the stamens to the stigma of the ovary, whereas fertilization takes place by the fusion of the male and the female gametes. Pollination is a physical process, whereas fertilization is a genetic and biochemical process. Pollination agents are required, like wind, water, birds, insects, and other animals, whereas fertilization takes place by growing of the pollen tube which enters the ovule. Here, no agents are required. Okay? Then pollination external factors are required, whereas fertilization external factors are not required. Pollination, this process leads to fertilization, whereas fertilization leads to the formation of the seeds. In pollination, the pollen tube is not required, but fertilization, pollen tube has to be formed by transforming the male, for transferring the male gamete to the egg cell. Okay? Then pollination occurs only in the flowering plants, whereas fertilization takes place in the other living animals also. Okay, like birds, insects, humans, fertilization also takes place. Come to insect and water pollination. Now, insect pollination, the pollinating agent is here insects. Water pollination, the pollinating agent is water, which plants are generally aquatic. Then the flowers, for insect pollination, the flowers has to be brightly colored, scented, and produce a lot of nectar for attracting the insects. Whereas water pollinated flowers, they are light, small, and inconspicuous. Female flowers generally reach the surface of the water. Okay, they're generally aquatic, so they reach the surface of the water. Okay. And insect pollinated flowers, the pollen grains are large, sticky, spiny, and are produced in small numbers, so no wastage occurs. Okay. But in case of water pollination, large amount of is produced and they are lightweighted, they're protected by mucilage covering so that they does not become wet. They do not become wet. Then insect pollinated pollination, in case of insect pollination, stigma is small and is situated deep inside the petals. Okay, while that is why the insects, when it goes to take the nectar, it will pollinate the flower. Okay, the stamens may be small and hidden inside the petals. Okay. Whereas in case of water pollination, here also the stamens, they are also small and hidden inside the petals. They are also, when the insect goes inside the flower to take the nectar, the stamens, they brush off their anthers on the um, body of the insects, and that's why they will shed off their anthers, pollen grains on the body of the insects. Okay. Then the stigmas of the water pollinated flowers of the female flower, they are generally above the water surface. They are large and feathery to catch the pollen grains. Even the male flowers, they after maturing, they will detach from the this one from the male plant and they will start floating above the surface of the water. This is how the difference of insect and water pollination, the difference between this insect and water pollination. So this much is of this chapter. I will, in my next video, I will start the discussion of some more questions of this chapter, generally with the some other questions, okay, not the specimen questions, but some other questions which may become the specimen questions also. Okay, so stay tuned with me. Give attention to whatever is given to the videos in the videos. Okay, given in the videos. If you have any problem, please write in the comment box. Do share with your friends so that they can also be benefited from the videos. And if you are liking the videos, press the like button and also do subscribe and ring the notification bell. If you have not done so, please do it because as soon as a new video is uploaded, you will be notified. Okay, so don't forget to meditate before you start your day. So this much for today. I'll end this chapter now. Thank you for joining. Have a good day.